Why do women swim faster than men? And no, it's not what you're thinking. For decades, people assumed that men were bigger, faster, and stronger, but the data says something else. In fact, in some cases, the opposite is true. So let's take a look at the data, and then I'm going to show you 5 reasons why women can swim faster than men. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. The 50-meter freestyle. What is the world record in the men's 50 free and the women's 50 freestyle? On the men's side, we have 20.91 Cesar Cielo of Brazil back in 2009. The women's world record, Sarah Hoistrom of Sweden, 23.67. This is a 12.1% differential in speed. That means the man, in this case, is 12% faster than the world record on the women's side. Let's take a look at another event a little bit longer. Let's look at the 400 individual medley. That's what IM stands for. All 4 strokes. Michael Phelps made himself famous in this event because he's the best of all time. His world record has since been broken by the Leon Marchand of France in a 4:02.50. And on the women's side, it's a 4:28.18. Now, this is a differential of 7.8%. Now, if you notice, the percentile difference is a little bit lower. Now, let's look at an even longer event. Let's look at the 1,500 meter freestyle. This is a 1-mile swim. This is the longest event in the pool Olympic swimming schedule. On the men's side is Bobby Fink with the world record set at the Paris Olympics, 14:30.67. And of course, the distance queen, Katie Ledecky, has the women's world record in a 15:20.48. The differential between these two times is only 5.5%. Now, if you look at that, what's happening when we go from the 50 freestyle to the 1,500 meter freestyle, we went from a 12.1% differential down to a 5.5% differential. Let's take a look at an even longer swim. That's right, we're talking about the Manhattan Island swim, which is 28 miles long, 48 kilometers. It is a behemoth, and the world record was just set on the men's side, but a 5-hour and 41-minute record swim. And on the women's side, it's only a 5:44, and that record was actually set in 2011, and that time held, the women's time held, as the world record for the last 13 years. The men's side, it was literally just broken. The differential here is only 0.8%. We're talking 3 minutes across almost 6 hours of swimming. So if you can look now what happened between 50 meters, 1,500 meters, and 48 kilometers. For the last 13 years, a woman was holding the world record in this specific distance. When we look at the English Channel swim, it's pretty similar. This right here is a 9.4% differential, nothing like this 12% in the 50 freestyle. How about the Ironman? This is a longer swim to kick off the grueling Ironman distance. And in this swim, the record time on the men's side is 42 minutes and 17 seconds. On the women's side, 45 minutes and 4 seconds. That represents a 6.4% differential between men and women. Now, you might take a step back and you think, you know what? This video is a bunch of clickbait. Men are clearly faster than women. What are you talking about, Ferris? Well, we need to look at the data from a different perspective. If we look at the 50-meter freestyle, yes, pool distances, every record is much faster on the men's side, but as we look at the distance that it goes up, that really starts to shift. And when we look at other data points, it's a really compelling story. First of all, when you look at the last 30 years of this Manhattan Island swim, the fastest women were on average 12 to 14% faster than the men. So just because you have the outliers, the peak performance, on average, the fastest times in that specific discipline were actually women. And I just told you guys, the world record was held for 13 years by a woman, faster than any man has ever gone in that Manhattan Island swim. In the last 87 years of the Catalina Channel swim, women were 53 minutes faster than men. You take a look at the fastest men, the fastest women, 53 minutes faster on the women's side. And that's across the last 100 years. Pretty incredible. You also look at other outliers in the marathon distance swimming field, and you look at someone like Sarah Thomas, probably the GOAT of the open water swimming. She has the world record for the longest continuous swim. It's 104 miles, 67 hours. Oh my God, can you imagine swimming for 67 hours? How about Diana Nyad? She swam from Cuba to Florida, and it only took her 53 hours. Men have never done these things. Sarah Thomas also had cancer, and then she swam the English Channel 4 times in a row. Unbelievable. Men have never done a lot of these feats that women have been able to do, and they've been able to do it faster in these longer distances. I mean, can you just imagine swimming for 53 hours or even 67 hours? Now let's talk about the 5 reasons that women can swim faster and longer than men can. Number 1, it's a lower oxygen consumption rate, VO2 max. That's right, women actually have a lower VO2 max than men. Now you might be thinking, well, shouldn't that make you slower? Doesn't that hurt your swimming performance? It can, only in the shorter term. But when you think about a longer aerobic swim, that we're talking really long, like hours at a time, more than just a 30-second sprint. We're talking about a really long time. Women can actually operate at a higher percentage of their maximum without depleting energy levels as quickly. This makes you more consistent. It means you can swim longer without depleting as much energy, and voila, you can swim 100 miles straight. Well, Sarah Thomas can, maybe you can't, but that's okay, because overall, women have a lower VO2 max, which allows you, in theory, to go longer on a relative basis. Another reason is better buoyancy. When you think about the body composition, men and women are different, right? The human makeup is very different, and men, on average at this level, have an average body fat percentage of 15 to 20%. Women are built differently and have an average of 25 to 30%. We're talking about these endurance marathon open water swimmers. Now, as a result of this, you have better streamlined body position. Remember, the water is 800 times more dense than air. So as you're swimming through this medium that is just so slow, so thick, a woman's body position is naturally going to be better. And over a long period of time, that allows you to be more efficient, to conserve more energy. In addition to having this higher body fat composition, you actually have this fat metabolism rate, which is actually more efficient for the body, and that delays fatigue. We'll talk about efficiency in just a little bit, but you can see just off of these first two, it's pretty dramatic the difference between men and women, especially in the open water distance marathon type swimming. Lower VO2 max, higher body fat percentage, and because of that, you have better body heat retention. I mean, think about it. When we're talking about swimming the English Channel around Manhattan Island, right? Water is much cooler than your body's natural temperature. I mean, the water could be, 15 or 20 degrees Celsius. It could be 70 degrees Fahrenheit. This is way cooler, and your body has to work and use extra energy to keep it cool. With a higher body fat percentage, you can actually do this without using as much energy. So you have a higher body fat percentage plus often a lower surface area. Remember, women on average are smaller than men. If you look at the global average of height, men are 5'7" or 170 centimeters, and women on average are 5'3", 160 centimeters. Now, the elite athletes are going to be taller than this on both regards, men and women, but you can just see with a smaller frame, a higher body fat percentage, you have less surface area, and as a result, your heat is leaving your body at a lower rate. So you're more efficient at retaining heat. So that means you can spend more energy on the actual swimming, and you can actually delay and prevent body fatigue at a more efficient rate than a man can. And related to the efficiency, let's talk about efficiency. Women can burn more fat and therefore fewer carbs compared to men, which delays hitting the wall. We've all been there. We're swimming, we're running, we're on the bike, and you just feel like you bonked out. Your energy is depleted. Physiologically, the male is going to hit this wall sooner than a man on a relative basis because of the body composition differences. So the men are going to go to carbs sooner. The women are just going to go to their fat reserves because they have more of them on a relative basis to the men. And then finally, you have a higher pain tolerance as a woman. This goes back to mental toughness. I mean, after all, women give birth. Women do things that men physically can't do. Women are built different. And so as a result, there is a higher discomfort for pain, a higher pain tolerance for extended periods of time. And research and studies have shown this. It's incredible what the human body is capable of, whether it's swimming 100 miles in the open water or swimming a 20-second 50-meter freestyle from one end of the pool or to the other. If you guys want our help training you to swim faster, to be more efficient, and you want to be surrounded by like-minded people who are leveling up their swimming, taking it to the next level, then make sure you book a call below so you can speak with myself or a member of my team to see how we can help you swim faster and smarter than ever before. After you book the call, make sure you watch this video right over here. You're gonna love it. I'll see you over there, and happy swimming.